You only have one life. Don't fuck it up. I don't care what you do with your life. Just be a good person. Prepare for each moment to be a learning moment. Your life won't go as planned. And trust me, it's a good thing. You never realize when the most cherished moments of your life are happening. Try to enjoy every day. One of your worst enemies will be your own ego. It will tell you that you're never wrong, that you are invincible, that you have no weaknesses. Regularly tell your ego to shut up. You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. If you love something, let it free. If it comes back, then it's yours and meant to be. And if not, then move on. You can't change others. Kindness will not win you respect, except your own. But that's the one that counts. You can't control what thoughts enter your mind, but you can control what thoughts you entertain. Don't give energy to thoughts that don't make you feel good. Do not chase people who are walking out of your life. No matter their job or status in life, everyone deserves your respect. Real growth is when you start checking and correcting yourself. Instead of blaming others, you take your power back by being responsible for your life. When a woman says no, believe her. Life doesn't really start until your 30s. Everything before is still the tutorial. No excuses, because excuses don't solve your problems. The person behind you isn't going to pay your speeding ticket. Do what is right, not what is easy. There is absolutely no reason to lay your hands on a person out of anger. Buy high-quality tools, so you only have to buy them once. Making others look bad doesn't make you look better. Men talk about problems because they want solutions. Women talk about problems because they want support. Letting go is much easier than you think. Holding on is much tougher than you think. The only thing constant in this world is change. Save money as soon as you get paid, and not what's left. Apologize when it's time to. There's no quick and easy way to achieve or attain something valuable and hard-earned. Anyone else who tells you otherwise is trying to sell you something. Your progress does not need to be seen or validated by others to be real. A lot of people lie, and for no reason other than they're bored. Nothing good ever happens after midnight. Sometimes, when something tragic or heartbreaking happens, you never truly get over it or move on. You just learn to live with it. Friends can still screw you over without doing so intentionally. Don't try to fit and where you're not wanted. Only judge someone based on what you know about them personally, never what other people say about them. If it's too good to be true, then it probably isn't true. No matter how hot you find someone, you'll get used to their appearance faster than you like. When you start to work hard for 6 months. After that, they won't bother you, and your job will be extremely easy, and you won't have to do much. Buy a plunger before you need a plunger. Keep your eyes and ears open and your mouth shut. Observe for all the information. The clock does not determine when the job is done. Honesty is a very expensive gift. Don't expect it from cheap people. Life can take a loved one at any time, so cherish those you love. Make time for family and friends, and tell people you love them often. Potential means you haven't done anything yet. If you aren't confident, fake it. It will come. You can make all the mistakes you want. Just don't make the same one twice. Some will call you stubborn, others will call you strong, but regardless of what they say, if you know deep down that what you're doing is the right and just thing, their opinions shouldn't matter. Don't judge anyone based on the rumors that you have heard about them. Know people by yourself and have your own opinion. Don't change yourself just to make someone happy, unless that someone is you. Think with your big head, not your little one. Never stop the other person from talking, because the worst thing that could happen to them is you proving them wrong. Being kind to yourself is the best medicine. If you like what you do, it will never feel like work. The person who cares less has the most power in a relationship. Don't let emotions affect your life, no matter if those emotions are your own or someone else's. Women fall in love with what they hear. Men fall in love with what they see. That's why women wear makeup and men lie. Always go out into public dressed like you're about to meet the love of your life. Nothing is ever as easy as it seems. The world owes you nothing. It's too big and has too much going on to care about you. If you say you'll do something, do it. Your word is one of the most valuable things you can cultivate. And if your word ever loses that value, it will be hard to get it back. No job is beneath one's dignity. Brush your teeth before you put on your tie. If you're interested in a girl, see what her mother looks like. That's how she will turn out after marriage. Protect and defend those that are incapable of doing it themselves. Trust is built over the life of a relationship, but can be lost in an instant if you're not careful. Don't borrow anything you can't afford to replace. If you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anyone else. Learn to be content and happy by yourself. If you need a company to be happy, then it will make you weak. No matter what the circumstance, drive defensively. Your only goal in driving is to reach the destination safely. Do not judge a person by their words. Judge them by their actions. Cooking and cleaning are basic life skills, and not a gender role. The most important thing you can learn is personal responsibility. Bad things happen. It's your job to overcome them. Nothing changes if nothing changes. If you're not dating to marry, then you're dating for heartbreak. Let that sink in and be in a serious relationship. The first hole you penetrate on a woman is her nose. One woman can be a big enough headache. Keep that in mind before you get involved with two at once. You don't really know the person you're with until you move in together. Never marry anyone without living with them first. Letting go is very hard, but it's the best thing to do. If your problem can be solved with money, it's not a real problem. Clean dishes as you cook. Smart girls like to hear they're pretty. Pretty girls like to hear that they're smart. If you try to please everybody, somebody won't like it. Avoid bad habits. They will become harder to break as you get older. We are the average of the people we spend time with. Surround yourself with good people to be a good person. Don't make decisions when you're angry. Don't make promises when you're happy. When you drink, you're borrowing happiness from tomorrow. Figure out what you love to do, and then figure out how to get someone to pay you to do it. If you blame it on someone else, don't expect it to get better. Strive to be the man you want your daughter to marry. Believe half of what you see, and don't believe anything you hear. Education and knowing things means nothing if you're not willing to put in effort and use what you know. Be alone sometimes. It is important for your mind and well-being. Never tell your boss you're bored. Leave when a promise turns into a sorry. If it were easy, everybody would do it. Don't take criticism from anyone you would not take advice from. If you have to keep asking yourself if something is worth it, then maybe it's not. You can't really control someone's loyalty towards you. You can do so much for someone and still not be treated well.
Don't read a quote and say, "This is wise," but read a quote and say, "How can I relate this to my life?" Sometimes you just have to let stupid people be stupid. You are not unique. There will always be someone else equally attractive, fun, and qualified to replace you. Don't make hopes. Hopes will create expectation, and expectation makes you weaker. Passion is super awesome, but it doesn't cure all your problems. Passion can go a long way in your life, but it doesn't mean it's all unicorns and rainbows. Some people just won't admit they're wrong. Don't waste time trying to get them to accept it. Don't make hopes. Hopes will create expectation, and expectation makes you weaker. Regretting won't change your past, and it will end up your future if you continue to do that. If you can't do it now, you won't do it ever. Life gives you lemons, pepper, salt, and sometimes cold water, but they don't come together or in a certain order. So, keep struggling until the lemonade is ready. Think before you act. You can take a second to do something you haven't properly considered. That isn't a true reflection of your character, and it can undo a lifetime of kindness and generosity. No one cares except you. Do what lifts you up in your eyes. What people say does not matter. Don't be emotionally attached to anyone. People change. Even your best friends may probably turn into strangers one day. The moment poverty walks in through the door, love and peace toss themselves out of the window. You don't have to be great to start, but to become great, you just have to start. Life is unfair. Don't moan. Don't complain. Learn to be thick-skinned. Make the most of what you can. You don't get extra marks for putting up with people you dislike. Just trust your instincts. Gut feelings can sometimes save you from big troubles. Don't let people know too much about you. A lesson never ever goes away until it has taught us what we need to know. Most people are a complete waste of time. Overthinking ruins you. It ruins the situation, twists things around, makes you worry about futile questions, and makes everything much worse than it actually is. Being lonely and being alone are different things. If you're not happy with yourself, you'll never be happy in a relationship. Be impatient with actions, but patient with results. In order to love who you are, you cannot hate the experiences that shaped you. Time is your most valuable resource. There are no refunds or second chances for the time you waste. Nothing is complicated. not as much as you assume. It's just your mind playing tricks with you. If you get down to it, it's all really simple and clear. Find something you love, something you can lean onto, something that would keep you going. You need something to fall back on when you get depressed. This will make you more confident in front of others. When talking to people, look them in the eye and on the face. Never awaken a woman's love with no intention of loving her. Saying no is important. People don't get offended as much as you think. Stop letting other people take advantage of you. Learn to say no and understand your rights. It is indeed very hard to move on, but once you do, you'll realize it was your best decision. Life is a boxing game. Defeat is not declared when you fall down. It is declared when you refuse to get up. Learn to let go, even if you are right. You might regret your speech, but you'll never regret your silence. Never expect too high. The more you expect when it doesn't meet your expectation, the more it's gonna hurt. Until it becomes a memory. There are times when you see someone for the last time and don't even realize it. Watch out. You'll never know the true value of the moment. The walls you build to keep things out are also keeping things in. People only want to hear the good, not the bad. So, if you have issues, it'll be hard to find people to confide in. There is nothing more important to true growth than realizing that you are not the voice of the mind. You are the one who hears it. Many of the people you told your secret to have already told it to others. Owning your truth can be hard, but not nearly as hard as spending your life running away from it. No matter how hard you work, you can't have everything you want. Eventually, most of us end up settling in some part of our life. Work hard in silence and show your skills at the job you get rather than criticizing the job. No work is beneath you. The only thing that should be beneath you is your big ego. Don't compare yourself to others because no one can play your role better than you. You can't always have a good day, but you can always face a bad day with a good attitude. Putting off until tomorrow is your weakness. Success is a loner's journey. You must learn to accept loss and make compromises. A moment of patience in a moment of anger saves from 1,000 minutes of regret. The hardest part is at the beginning of the journey. The rocket loses 90% of its fuel during takeoff. Betrayal never comes from your enemies. There will always be someone who is better than you in something. You have to accept that fact and learn from them. That's something that will help you grow. However, the ego is just a tool. We shouldn't let it control us. The ego is not a bad thing. And sometimes we need it in order to achieve our aims and feel vitality. Things work out when you least expect them. Life has a funny way of surprising us when we're not looking for it. Life isn't fair, and sometimes good deeds aren't rewarded and bad deeds aren't punished. If you waste money, you can earn it again. If you miss the moment, it can never be returned. Not everyone will make it to your future. Some people are passing through to teach you life lessons. You can't litter negativity everywhere and wonder why you have a trashy life. The more people let you down, the easier you'll get back up and realize that life doesn't stop for anyone. What people say when they are angry aren't things they mean. They regret it often. Forgive angry people. It's okay. They are only human. Chasing the opposite sex and having temporary relationships, which means nothing but sex, is pointless. The world will not treat you better just because you're a good person. Be wise and careful of this one. People will say almost anything when they're happy. To have what you never had, you have to do what you never did. You spend your first 20 years worrying about what people think about you. You spend your next 20 years swearing that you don't care what people think about you. You spend the next 20 years realizing that they aren't thinking about you. When you get up in the morning, remember what you promised yourself at night. If something bothers you, change it. If it is beyond your control, learn to live with it. Accept it. Change yourself. That is the only thing you can influence. You are right about all the things you think you need to do. Don't wait. Get started. Wasting time and regretting, cribbing, and crying won't fetch you results. Worry is the ultimate bully. It takes everything and gives nothing. Embrace judgment. No matter your outcome, you'll always be judged. So don't live to impress others. Live to impress yourself. Don't tell anyone what you think or what you know. Keep your secrets to yourself. Because a friend of today could be an enemy by tomorrow. Never compare your life with others. They may seem better than you, but they have some problems which are never ever heard by you. You spend all your health initially for wealth, and then you spend all your wealth for one day of good health. The world doesn't care about your potential. It cares about what you've done. Never sacrifice your progress for a friend. They might not do the same if the tables were turned. The person who cares less has the most power in a relationship. Sometimes, when you're in a dark place, you think you've been buried, but actually, you've been planted. Stop trying to make everyone love you. You need enemies to succeed. Most people stay in the same place for a reason. The things they hold dear are the anchors that hold them in place. No one has the answer. You're going to spend a lot of time figuring things out. Rejection is important for self-development. Not everything in this world should be your problem. Some things are simply none of your business. Focus on the issues that affect you directly. You will be much happier that way. Every person has three faces. Firstly, the one we show to the world and strangers. Secondly, the one we show to family, spouses, and close friends. And thirdly, the one we show only to ourselves. You can always earn money. It's not a big deal. Your world is not going to end because you don't have a fixed income. Something else will work out. Overtrusting, betrayal, masturbation, loss of energy, stress, hair loss, overthinking, depression, saying no, important, revenge, ruining your own life, observing, increase in wisdom, forgiving, healing, letting go, peace of mind. The magic you are looking for is in the work you're avoiding. Just because you miss someone doesn't mean you need them back in your life. Missing is a part of getting over. When you laugh, people laugh with you. And when you cry alone. Once you realize your value, you will be greatly surprised at what you used to settle for. Your friends' problems become your problems. The smaller your social circle, the fewer problems you have. The average of 5 is real. If you really want to know someone, look at the 5 people they talk to the most and spend the most time with.